Welcome to CEO Insights Asia Executive Series, Principles of Scaling. Welcome to CEO Insights Asia Executive Series, Principles of Scaling. Is the strongest enterprise are those that constantly evolve. It's no longer the game of how big you are, but now the game is how big your ecosystem is.
Now, but I think this really speaks volume why we're attracted to hang out with one another. Like for example, in CEO Insights Asia, I really like spending time there because I'm surrounded with like-minded people. So,
Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to CEO Insights Asia Executive Series, Principles of Scaling. And today's talk is about the infinite game. And ang key message natin for today is simply we want to create a simple succession plan. And later, i-dissect natin yun. No? But just a quick reminder why we do this every Friday at 10 a.m. is that we want to install DNA principles that scale organizations. The key idea is that yung ating 17,000 participants in this room at yung mga nanonood sa atin ngayon sa Facebook Live na ini-invite nating mag-join sa atin dito to have engagement and interaction. What we want is for you to be able to at least extract one principle, one idea, one concept that you can immediately execute in your organization. Ganun yung natin. We want it to be practical. That's the main objective why we do this on a weekly basis every Friday at 10 a.m. So the focus of this month is all about being missional. We want to build institutions for legacy beyond simply making money. We talk about operating in excellence, progressing in experience, and thinking in generations. Just a recap of what we've covered so far. The power of principle, we talk about, power of purpose rather, we talk about that on week 1. And the key message back then is that profit follows purpose, or money follows mission. And if you want to truly understand what we meant by that, pwede na lang kayong bumalik sa ating Facebook Live, sa YouTube channel natin, at pakinggan ito. If you're not into videos, you can listen to our Spotify podcast. Yan, nandyan yan. Right? And then on week 2, we talked about the excellence dividend. What does it take para magkaroon tayo ng pockets of excellence? And first and foremost, we want to break the mentality of mediocrity. Ayaw na ayaw natin yun, because if we constantly work with that kind of mindset, we become eventually victims of its effect, And the same thing in reverse, we want to have excellence mindset. We becomes beneficiary. We benefit from the existence of excellence, and we avoid being a victim of mediocrity. Last week, we talked about the 1% rule. It's very exciting nung nag-share ako nito kasi it was my story. We deviated a bit from the organizational application into a much more personal. Kung gusto nyong malaman yung kwento natin, just watch that. Diba? Nasa page natin yan, nasa YouTube, nasa Spotify. Just listen to it na lang on your convenient time. And today, we'll talk about the infinite game. Yan. So a few announcements before we proceed with our session. Konti lang to. Unang-una, circle meetings every Tuesday at 11 a.m. For the women entrepreneur who are here, you can join a CEO circle. Ayan, every Tuesdays at 11 a.m. We have CEO ng Gramworth at si Chris na kanina ko pa kausap at kanina ko pa nirarantan. Salamat, Chris, for being my punching bag for today. Ayan. They are leading CEOs talking about how to grow and scale their businesses. Yes, punching bag. All right, so principles of scaling, anong difference nito? Principles of scaling is all about instruction of the principle. CEO circles are designed to have intensive discussion of the principles because we fellow CEOs learn best with fellow CEOs. So ganun ang ganun ang design natin for our circle meeting. This is for the women entrepreneurs here. We need more of you. 20,000 na tayo, di ba? At dun sa mga nanonood, if you want to reach out, message the page and then message me and then we'll plug you to a circle. For the men, ayan, nandito ngayon ang We Trade team. Shout out sa ating We Trade team, founded and led by si Coach RD Morales. Ayan, so you can join us. Okay, and si Sir FM Ramento ng Fera Media. Yan ang mga facilitator natin every Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Yan. Okay, so next, ito pala, by the way, ito pala yung shot ng screenshot of what we do every Tuesday at 11 a.m. So halo-halo yan. We have female entrepreneurs, we have male entrepreneurs. All the entrepreneurs or CEOs, you can join us here. Okay, another announcement. So I spoke with one of our founding partners, Jason De La Rosa of Bounce Back just today. And we're transitioning now. We're brewing something. Ayan. In the event na pwede na tayong mag face-to-face. So ang headquarters natin ay sa Kape and Company sa may QC yan. No? So it's Coffee, Connections, and Community. So for the official members and subscribers, medyo magkikita-kita tayo dyan once a month. Ano pa natin? Binubrew pa natin. Once it's done, we will announce it in the coming days. And last but not the least, isa sa favorite announcement ko, save the date. This is for official member Zark Varona of Zark's Burgers. One of our good friend ay BBC sa atin to be the faculty, and he will talk about how to build your business. Ayan. This is for official members only. So here's what I don't get, no? If you are not yet an official member and you're not part of a circle, I have no idea why. Bakit? Diba? Now, if you're not an official member, again, I have no idea why. What life are you waiting for? Yun nga ang pinag-uusapan namin dito. You got all these privileges and engagement with fellow CEOs. All right, enough about that. Let's talk about the agenda for today. I'm very excited na pag-uusapan natin. Lagi naman ako excited eh. Anyway, sige. Okay, so first we'll have a discussion starter and then we'll have next is a case study, a tale of two companies. And next, we'll talk about some facts and figures na high blood ako. My goodness. I was, for some of you, many of you know, I'm into boxing now because I have high blood pressure. And I work so hard to make sure na ako ay bumaba ang aking blood pressure, no, na ginulpe ko ng aking boxing coach this week. And then it went down to 111 to 81. So I am so proud of myself. And then I did my research. Diyos ko, na high blood uli ako. Anyway, sabi ko, kakailanganin ko uli ng fish oil. Ayan, because of the facts and figures I've discovered while doing this material. And then we'll talk about the Yuki principle. Ano ba tong Yuki principle na to? And then we'll get practical. So, are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, uy, nandito si Lai. Shout out naman kay Lai. Kamusta ka na? Yan, Lai of Labor, the Human Capital Manager of Labor ay nandito ngayon. Sige. So, shout out din kay Angel. Nandito si Angel. Angelica Asinas, the founding associate of our associate program. Yan, sige. Let's do a quick discussion. Sige. Ito yung question. What do you think is the most expensive mistake a CEO can make? So I will be asking someone and then that person will pick another one. So unahin ko na si Coach RD na lang since siya ang pinakamalapit sa akin. Coach RD, floor is yours.
Good morning everyone. Good morning. Siguro for me ang pinaka expensive mistake is yung hindi mo alam na may mistake ka pala. 'Di ba? Yung tuloy-tuloy ka sa paggawa ng isang bagay na hindi mo pa alam na mali, din tuloy-tuloy ka.
Mm-hmm. All right. You don't know that you're making a mistake that's costly. Cool. Sige. Pick the next one, sir. Yung hindi taga-we trade,
Si Coach FM. Good morning, Coach FM.
Coach FM. Ikaw, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, guys. Most expensive na mistake. I think Yung mediocrity.
Mediocrity. Yeah.
Pagpakulo ng dugo natin, Sir Pat. Mindset.
Yeah. All right. Sige. Pick the last one, sir.
Yeah. I want to hear from Madam Maria Angelica.
Ayun. Si Angel. Ayan. Angel. What do you think is the most expensive mistake a CEO can make? Angel. All right. Going once. Going twice. Sir, pick the next one. Mukhang indisposed as of the moment si Angel.
Nag-unmute siya.
Nag-unmute siya.
Ayun, no? Hindi,
rinig ko ako. Hindi, ma'am. Hindi ka namin marinig.
Yeah, hindi ka marinig.
Hello.
Yan.
Good morning po. Sorry for that. I think for me, the most expensive mistake a CEO can make is I'll focus more on hiring the wrong people.
Ayan.
So that's for me.
Okay. Ang husay naman. Sino ba nagturo sa... Ayan. So, full disclosure, si Angel ang favorite associate natin. No? Favorite natin yan. Anyway, sige, I'll talk more about that later. Sige, those are correct. No? I mean, we have costly mistakes na you don't know you're making a mistake. Magastos yun. No? Mediocrity is very expensive as well. And, yeah, closer to home, hiring the wrong people is the one of the, if not the most costly mistake for now. But after studying this, I discovered something else. No, it's sort of derivative of that statement. Sige, so I'll do a case study. I will answer that question by doing a case study, and then I will say my answer in what I think is the most expensive mistake a CEO can make. So let's do a quick case study. Before that, you know me, I always highlight the learnings. Now, this session has been inspired by these books, Beyond Entrepreneurship by Jim Collins, 2.0. It was published 2021, second version again. And then Succession by Noel Tichy. Okay, unfortunately, yung BE, meron ako niyan ebook. If you want a copy, I'll send it to you. Just message me. Surprisingly, we've gotten messages from sa pages, no, na people who is not in our network. They are able to watch the Facebook live natin, whether it's replay, and then they're messaging, sir, can you give me a copy of this? And we'd gladly give them a copy. So please, if you're in Facebook, and letting them stay, may hirit na naman sila. Okay, if you're on Facebook, kindly share the live stream natin so that will reach more people. Yung sa Succession, unfortunately, I don't have an ebook because I have the hard copy. Ayan. So, regalo sa akin to ng aking asawa in 2016 na pinakamamahal ko. Her name is Tidoy. I love her so much. She is my whole world together with my daughter. I think you know that. You hear that every time we have this session. Anyway, so moving on. Okay. Let's do a case study. Question. Type down the company that owns this logo. So, we'll have more interaction. Kindly type it down if you know the company that owns this logo. Ayan. All right. So everybody knows this. Diba? It's Microsoft. Let's do a case study of Microsoft quickly. So it was founded in April 4, 1975 by childhood friends Bill Gates and Paul Allen. So they are the two people who founded Microsoft. It's named Microsoft because they designed it for microprocessors and software. Yun yung design ng company. Next is 1985, they released a new operating system. It's called Windows. And with a GUI, for the geek parlance nga, sabi nila, GUI or graphical user interface that included drop-down menus, scroll bars, and other features that included an Apple lawsuit. So yan ang naging umpisa ng away nila ni Steve Jobs. Okay. Next, following year, the company moved its HQ to Redmond, Washington, and then they went public at $21 a share, raising $61 million. You know me, I'm a numbers guy. Just focus on take note of the numbers rather. Next, 1987, the year after Microsoft went public, 31-year-old Bill Gates became the world's youngest billionaire. So this is the Microsoft that Bill Gates built. Fast forward tayo, 13 years later, after being a public company, January 23, 2000, Bill Gates retired. Turned over the company to the Microsoft's first employee. His name is Steve Ballmer at kaibigan niya to. Okay. The market value of Microsoft was $555 billion. So they were able to raise $61 million in 1987. 13 years later, it's now worth $555 billion. Okay. Now, fast forward 13 years later, Steve Ballmer naman nag-retire na. So 2013, August 23, Steve Ballmer retired and Satya Nadella became CEO. The market value of Microsoft was $289 billion. Okay, let me repeat that. The market value of Microsoft at the retirement of Steve Ballmer was $289 billion. Okay. Yup, that's a value drop of almost 40%. 40% ang nawala because of 13 years. Actually, hindi pa dapat magre-retire si Steve Ballmer neto. He was forced to retire by the board and because of what happened under his leadership. So for us to better appreciate yung sa mga hindi masyadong nakaka-relate sa shareholder value. Imagine that you personally, you work so hard, you've reached your retirement age, and then you have a little nest egg. Sabi mo, I want to use this to invest in a poultry. So you use your life savings, bumili ka ng lupa, nagtayo ka ng poultry, yung manukan, and then you had 100 chicken. And then this is my life savings. I made it into an investment. And then you decided to give it to a caretaker or a manager. Sabi mo, okay, this is my poultry. I'm gonna give it to you. Sa ikaw na mag day-to-day operations. I'll just be back. I'll just live on dividends and then whatnot. Fast forward 5 years later, bumalik ka dun sa farm and then nakita mo na yung manok mo, you started with 100, pagbalik mo 60 na lang. Diba? Parang ang sakit sa ulo, ang sakit sa puso nun, diba? Ganun yung naramdaman ng mga shareholders. Diba na parang, this is my life, this is my money, my hard-earned money, I gave it to you, hindi mo na nga pinalago pinababa mo pa. Diba? 40% drop. That's ouch talaga. That's ouch. And that's what happened under the leadership of Steve Ballmer. And the answer to that question, yung what is the most expensive mistake a CEO can make, is sort of what Angel answered. It's having the wrong people. But I believe it's the much more expensive or costlier mistake is handing over the leadership of the company you built to the wrong person. The purpose or the role of a CEO when you're given something, not just a CEO but anyone, when you're entrusted with something, our job is to make it grow. Yun yung entrustment sa atin. Dapat pinapalago natin. If you're a frontliner, may entrust sa'yo na role, your job is to grow that role, whatever that role is. If you're a salesperson, your job is to hit this target. Your job is not just to hit that target, but to make sure that lumalago yung target na yun. No? If you're a CEO, you've been given a company, your job is to grow that company. So yun yung pinaka-principle dito. Now, in contrast, let's talk about this company. Hindi ko na kailangan sabihin kung anong company ito. Alam niyo naman ito. Diba? So in 1995, two Stanford PhD students named Larry Page and Sergey Brin met. And then in 1998, si Sun Microsystems co-founder, si Andy. Hindi ko kayo pronounce So Andy na lang. Okay. Si Basosa. Okay. Si Andy wrote Larry and Sergey a check for $100K. And then officially, Google was born. Next. 1999, a year later, Sequoia Capital partnered with Google. Sequoia is a venture capital firm, and the folklore, the story sa Silicon Valley nga, they went to Sequoia and they were asked, okay, what does Google do? And they answered it using 8 words. Okay, organize the world's information in just one click. That's it. And I believe it's safe to say that Google literally changed the world using 8 words. They got funded, and then Google, the search engine, change the world. Now, why am I saying this? I came from the corporate world. Okay? In a corporate landscape where mission and vision is not a statement but a paragraph. Diba? We exist for customers to provide large customer value and so on, and make innovative products and service. Like parang no one cares, honestly. And if you're working with me as a client partner, you know, we simplify things because the best do it. They simplify things. We just maximize. Kaya yung 5 words or less, it's really something that is not. It's not something to force to force the brain cells of our CEOs, but it's something to simplify the concept of what we're trying to do. Okay, and does your mission vision fit in a T-shirt? Kasi why does it matter? Why does it matter? Na maikli lang siya. Because if it's too long, no one can remember it, and if no one can remember it, no one cares, right? So taking a page from the Google Playbook. Minimize your purpose statement in 5 words or less. Okay. So having said that, moving on. So far so good. Please type so good if you can relate. Ayan. Okay. Thank you. Ayan. Salamat. Ayan. Biglang Okay. So August 19, 2004, Google became a public company just around the time na naging CEO si Steve Ballmer, di ba? Google became a public company by an initial IPO or initial public offering, price of $85 per share. The sale is 1.67 billion and this gave Google a market cap of more than 23 billion. So yan yung valuation ng mga companies. Fast forward tayo, around 15 years naman ito. Or 14 years. Yeah, 15 years. Si Larry Page, the founder, retired and Sundar Pichai became CEO. Now, what happened? Okay. The stock price was $1,347 per share. Yung nag-retire si Larry Page. Nung Feb 21, this was Monday when I was doing the presentation, this material, no? The share of Google was 2,609 per share. Si Mel ang gumagawa ng ating insights, no? And insights is the material that we use on our circle meetings. And I was surprised kasi sobrang excited niya. Tapos na siya, 'di ba? Sunday pa lang nasa akin na yung material. And na-inspire ako. So ako, Monday pa lang, usually I finish my deck every Thursday. Monday pa lang tapos na tong deck na to. Right. Anyway, so that's the growth of 94%, 93.6 growth since Sundar Pichai took over. Imagine nag-X2 yung investment mo in just 2 years. And remember, we're in the middle of pandemic nung nag-transition ito, December 2019. To better appreciate it in image, alam mo naman tayo, di ba? Visual tayo. So that's the graph. Oh, ganda, up into the right. Di ba? Yung dip, that was around March. Pero after March, nothing it went up into the right. And imagine, di ba, Google took advantage of it kasi everybody's in their home. And when you're in the home, di ba, ano gagawin mo? Mobile phone. So, yep, that's Sundar Pichai for you. Okay, so that's the power of entrusting the position, the CEO position to the right person. If we think that having the wrong person at the front lines is costly, imagine having the wrong person in the leadership position. Okay. And also imagine the power. We've provided the evidence of having the right person in the CEO position. Okay, but let's throw in some facts. Andito na yung fish oil ko. Some numbers into it. To the moon. Yeah. Ito. Companies around the world spend 370 billion per year on leadership development. This according to training industry in 2021 tong data na to. Okay, so it's new. However, may mga HR tayo rito, 5 out of 6, that's over 90% HR managers are dissatisfied with the results of their leadership development program. Imagine that. We're spending 370 billion per year. Tapos yung mga customer mo, 93% of the customer are not happy with what you're doing. My goodness. Kung hindi kayo na high blood, ako nag-umpisa na ako ma-high blood. Ray, I will answer that in a few. Let me just finish the presentation. Next, while 86% of leaders believe leadership succession planning is of utmost importance, only 14% think their organization does it well. Can you see the disconnect? Diyos ko, napapa-Krista Nuevo ko rito. Sa 86% sabi, yeah, alam mo, importante ang leadership succession planning. Pero 14% ang nagsabi, actually, ano lang kami, we're doing a good job. 14%. So if that's around Fortune 500, let's say you're talking about Fortune 500 companies. So these are the movers and shakers of the world, itong mga companies na to, 500 companies. Kung 14% lang, so that's about 150 companies ang merong maayos sa succession plan. You know, people, I listen to what people say, but I actually believe what they do. You know, and if you want to see the priority of a person, don't listen to what they say. Well, actually listen, but listen to the 3 C's. Ano yung 3 C's? Cash, conversation, calendar. Gusto mo malaman ang priority ng isang tao, applicable to in personal and professional life. Cash, saan pupunta yung pera? Anong pinagagastosan nito? Okay, as a company and as a person. Calendar, anong laging nakakalendaryo rito? Okay. Third is conversation. Ano lagi sinasabi nito pagkausap mo? That's what you will will give you an insight of what that person or that company, kung ano yung priority talaga nila. Those 3 C's. Yes? Okay, so far so good. Okay. Diba? Ito, only 35%, ito pala yun, yung Fortune 500, 150. Only 35% have a formalized succession planning process. 35%. So if you're a Fortune 500 company, ibig sabihin you're very important kasi yes, cash, calendar, conversation, very important kasi you're a very big company. Only 150 doon ang merong formal succession. So pag nag-retire yung 350 na yun, patay, magkukumahog tayo. Kasi walang formal succession planning process. But only 35% are, I can safely say, built to last and built to continue. So here, 73% of the company's most common method in identifying potential candidates for leadership position was a single nomination of their direct manager. So paano na-promote or naging leader yung isa? Sinabi lang nung boss niya. There is no team process on who will get promoted. There's no data-driven. Okay, magre-retire na ako, ibibigay ko sa kanya. Ganun yung 73%. Yan ang pinaka-common method. I'm a manager, I'm about to get promoted. Siya na lang yung papalit ko. Diba? Why? Kaya nagkakaroon ng cloud of politics in corporate companies eh. You get what I'm saying? Although wala yun yung intention, hindi man yung intention. Pero dahil hindi nga malinaw or nomination lang ang pagpili ng susunod, sabihin, ay, kaya siya napili kasi close sila ni boss eh. You know? So we have to find a better way, and we have a better way. I'll share something about that later. Now, ito talaga nagpa-high blood sa akin. Direct cost of replacing a field executive is close to 10x of his or her salary. 10 times. So if a CEO's salary, sabihin na natin for the sake of conversation, is 1 million a year, pag pumalpak yun at papalitan siya, it costs 10 million. 10 million to replace a CEO because they failed. Now, in whether in business or in life, you will either prepare or repair. But both are expensive. The choice is yours. The choice is ours. Ba? Either we'll pay the costly price tag of preparing, meaning leadership development, or we will pay the much more costly price tag of the mistakes made because of the wrong person or incompetent leader. The choice is ours. Sabi nga ni BK nung kinlose niya yung conversation last week. Diba? Kung sa tingin mo magastos mag-aral, subukan mo maging mangmang. Ganda ng closer nun, di ba? Tapos na. Ba't pa ako nagsalita ng 1 oras? Kaya naman pala niyang i-summarize ng 1 sentence, di ba? So imagine, yes, di ba? And I have this conversation. You know, I'm an executive advisor, diba? And I know it sounds crass, but let me just share na people say, I need to succeed, I need an executive advisor. But you're expensive. Parang, okay, di ba? So, and then their company shuts down, and I've experienced this. Their company shuts down because You don't need to get me, get someone else who will advise you. It doesn't matter. But point is, get an advisor who will help you build your business. Diba? I have a network of consultants and advisors in me. Get Jason De La Rosa, bounce back. Ayan. Diba? Basta point is, if education is expensive, try ignorance. I was attending Business for Everyone by Chinky Tan. That was what? Saturday kami mag-asawa, nanood kami. No? And the speakers were RJ Ledesma, Jomag of Potato Corner, Steve C, si Chinky, sino pa ba? There were others, no? And they were saying, and we have around 1,000 nanonood ng Business for Everyone. And sabi ni Jomag, no? And Jomag had every reason to fail, by the way, no? Jomag, the franchise, he's an institution sa atin. Diba? And he had no degree. Hindi siya college graduate. He had no capital when he started the Potato Corner. He had no capital. He had no degree. He had no experience in running a business. And he had no experience in business partnership. And then he was asked by Chinky, sabi niya, anong ma-advise mo sa mga first-time entrepreneurs na nag-start pa lang? Sabi niya, ask for help. In fact, get consultants, get advisors. Kasi, sabi niya, consultants and advisors are always on their top of their game. Second, hindi pinagdaanan na nila yun eh. So, hindi mo na kailangan pagdaanan yun. Sure, magastos sila. Pero yung laki ng pera na ipapasok nila because you got it right. The cost of the cost of lost opportunity hindi mawawala na yon. And then I was surprised that this is Jomag, no? And then si Chinky sumunod, sabi niya, actually totoo yun eh, itong ina-advise ko. Isama niyo na sa CAPEX, sa capital expenditures niyo, na meron kayong advisor or consultant or mentor. Be part of a circle where you have fellow businessmen who's mentoring one another. Be part of that. And it sounds so awkward na ako nagsasabi because that's one of my business, diba? But I have to say it because it's so true. Again, you don't have to get me, get BK or get FM, diba? Get them. Basta get someone who will help you get better. Yan. Sige. Sorry, ang dami ko na sinabi. Okay, large companies that underwent for succession would have generated 112 billion. Had they paid the price of preparing for leadership in the next generation, they would have generated 112 billion more than the ones had they planned the succession better. Imagine yung value, di ba? Wala pa naman sigurong 1 billion ang succession planning, development, yung training and the development on how to create a succession plan. But the value of it's astronomical compared to the cost of having this mistake. Companies that have to fire their CEO lose an average of 1.4 billion in shareholder value. We've seen this around 40% drop because of Steve Ballmer. And then compared to companies with a succession plan. All right, so far so good. Please, high blood ako. Type there, high blood ako. High blood si Fa, if you're still with me. Ayan, if you're still engaged. Dun sa ating 24,000 per high blood si Fa, all caps. Ayan, gusto natin yan. Para sa mga nanonood, pakichat nyo na lang dyan. High blood na naman si Pa. Penging fish oil. HBC pa. Okay. All right. Have you heard of the phrase shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generation? Okay. Pivot tayo konti. Okay. So this refers to the adage shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generation describes the inability of the grandchildren to manage the wealth passed down to them from their grandparents and their parents. And he has infected high net worth families for decades. It's threatening the continuation of family legacies. In shorthand version neto, one company or one generation builds the wealth. The second generation enjoys the wealth. The third generation squanders the wealth of their family. That's why it's called shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generation. I came across this this post. And it resonated with me so much na sabi niya nga doon, hard times create strong men and women. And strong men and women create good times. Good times create weak men and women. And weak men and women and men create hard times. Diba? It's a cycle. Hard times create strong people create good times create weak people create hard times. And let that sink in for a bit. Now, if it's a cycle, how do we move away from this cycle? Now, I'll talk about what I call the Yuki principle. Ano tong Yuki principle na to? Okay, Yuki is it's my car. No? So, Yuki is, I have a Suzuki Ertiga 2019. We bought that brand new 2019. And we call her Yuki. Okay, she was my second car. My first car was Ola, Toyota Corolla. We call her Ola. It was my dream car. 1996, I sat down in front of a Toyota Corolla and I said, one day I'll buy this. 20 years later, I was blessed. All him. He gave me the opportunity to buy my Toyota Corolla Love Life 2004. And we enjoyed it for a good 3 years. We've been there, nakapunta yun dito sa Camarines Norte, naka-Tarlac yun, Pampanga, and so on. And syempre, we have a daughter now. At we're growing, so we need a bigger car. And God has blessed us to be able to buy Yuki. Okay, so Yuki, nakapunta na to again sa Pampanga. Baguio na lang kulang na ito, para talagang north and south na now. Nakapag-Sorsogon na yan, nakapag-Legazpi. Yung convenience na binibigay sa amin ni Yuki as a family, it's really yung peace of mind na you're driving a model car na siya, well-maintained, tsaka yung luwag compared ng 4 na kami, magiging 5 na because baby Ellie is on the way. And now na magiging 5 na kami, I need to have a bigger car na, no? So I'm considering of buying a new one so that I'll be able to, turn over Yuki to Johan, my daughter, baby Johan, when she's old enough to drive, no? So that's the idea, no, that I will be able to transfer the Yuki and the benefits that come with it to Johan when she's old enough to drive na. But if she has Yuki and then hindi naman siya marunong mag-drive, bali wala rin, 'di ba? So it's very important that not only do I transfer Yuki to Ate Johan, I also transfer to her the ability to drive Yuki. Yes? Please type yes if you can relate with me. Yan, para we have some engagement. Yes, you have to be able to transfer the ability to drive a car. Or better, what if I not only transfer Yuki to Ate Johan, not only do I transfer the ability to drive Yuki to Ate Johan, what if I transfer also the ability to build and make money so that she can buy a Yuki or whatever she wants, right? The ability to transfer, bumili siyang 5 Yuki, that's fine by me. So this is the 3 principles of what I call the Yuki principle. And it's applicable how? From personal, let's make it professional. In business, ganun din sa business. I was talking to entrepreneurs yesterday. I got invited by Oikos Technology. I'm not sure if Jonel is here. So 25,000 participants natin. Not sure if Jonel is here. He's the CEO, founder of Oikos. Invited me to talk to his company about being an entrepreneur. And may mga entrepreneur doon, may mga students, mga students who's taking up entrepreneurship. And sabi ko, build your business. If I want advice to you as entrepreneurs, good job, you're doing a good job. But yeah, build your business, build your dream, or else someone will hire you to build theirs. Magpapagod na rin naman tayo eh. Maigi na lang magpagod tayo na yung sa atin na. Why would we spend our most precious resource, which is time, making someone else rich? Money, we can earn that. Time, sabi nga ni Endgame, diba? Ni Howard Starks, no amount of money can ever buy a second of time. So that's our most precious resource, and we need to spend it wisely. So build your business, and or else someone will hire you to build theirs. So I was telling them na build your business. Second thing is you'll be able to transfer your business kasi. I'm very good friends with Paolo Hilario of Labor. Actually, sobrang good friends nga kami. Bromance na nga daw. Dito sila ayan, alam nila yan, di ba? Boyfriend ko yun, si Paolo, no? And Labor is 120 plus branches here in the overseas. And I was the second in command, and even though I'm the director there, when I before I retire, no, or let's say na I left because of the pandemic, but before I retire, if I'm going to, I'm going to retire na noon, no? Or I'm going to leave, hindi ko naman pwedeng sabihin kay Paolo na, Paolo, magre-retire na ako or aalis na ako. Pwede bang ipasa ko na yung position ko kay Johan? It doesn't work that way. Diba? Or CEO ka, unless it's your company. Okay, this is my company, this is my business. I'm going to retire now or I'm going to leave now. I'm transferring this to my daughter or my son or my whoever you want. But if you're an employee, you can't do that. So business, you can transfer. So going back, you have to be able to transfer your business. Second, you have to transfer the ability to that person you'll be your successor to drive the business. Parang kotse, doesn't matter, binigyan ng business, hindi naman marunong drive, babagsak yan. Yes? And the third principle is transfer the ability to build a business and more. Kasi if you're able to, you know how to build a business, you can always build the next one and the next one and the next one. I remember nung gitna ng pandemic, early stages of pandemic, kami ni Paolo, and we were categorized as a F. No, we can't operate until GCQ, I think. Basically, we shut down the Metro Manila branches. And we were having this conversation under si Lizelle. I'm not sure. Lizelle was the operations manager. I'm not sure if she's here now. Sabi ko kami ni Lizelle noon, okay lang yan, you close down or shut down all our branches, we'll just build it again. Kasi we know how to build a business. And that's the idea that we want to instill. Not only do we transfer the business to our successor, not only do we transfer the ability for our successor to drive our business, but we must also be able to transfer the ability to build a business. Right? So they can build more. And I saw this Facebook post, I don't know kung saan, no, but I saw this, sabi niya ron, it's a person with the mid-20s lang. I think it's early 20s to mid-20s, sabi niya. I was very excited when I first made my first million. I was very happy. Pero alam nyo, kahit maubos to, I'm okay. Kasi I know how to make a million. I'll just make it another million and then another million after that and so on and so forth because they have the ability to make money. And yun yung magandang skill set, no? The ability to when you reach it, reaching the first million is hard. Reaching the second million becomes easier. Again, not easy, not easy, just easier because you now have the know-how. Right. Now, this is my wife. Yan, that's Tidoy, my wife, and we went out on Monday. And these things that I'm sharing to you, if parang naririndi na kayo at nabuburyo na kayo, at binibisita ko na kayo sa panaginip nyo, alam ko, ang huli kong biktima si RD. Si Coach RD na, panaginipan na raw ako. Imagine na lang kung ako yung asawa niyo, di ba? So, she's the first to hear this before I launch it sa Principles of Scaling every Friday. So we were having this conversation, I was sharing this principle sa kanya. At yan, ginamitan lang naman tayo ng kakaibang salamangka, di ba? Yung tipong umorder siya, tapos umorder ka, tapos nagustuhan niya yung order mo, tapos patikim, yung mga ganun ba, tapos dadaanin ka lang sa ngiti, di wala ka nang magawa, kundi sa'yo na. Anyway, okay, so we were having this conversation and then we talk about how do we do that? No? How do we make sure that we're not shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in our generation, you know? Kasi we didn't came dirt poor naman. No? We live a comfortable life. Hindi naman kami sobrang hirap. But we didn't have any privilege compared to the families that we have. Yung kami growing up, no. I remember her story. Sinasabi niya na when she went to grade 6 on Girl Scout, everybody was required to go on stage and everyone was on their Girl Scout uniform siya. Naka-school uniform siya kasi she didn't have the means, no. She's a daughter of a missionary. I'm a son of a pastor. So we didn't really came from a very affluent family. So we build what we have together na meron kami, no. And yun yung isang conversation namin. So how do we make sure that what we build will be able to, ayaw namin mangyari. Ang pangarap lang namin is hindi maranasan ni Johan at ni Baby Ellie kung ano yung naranasan namin growing up. A better life. That's what all parents dream about, diba? You want to give a better life to our children. But of course, we have to be wary on the shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves adage. And we were having this conversation, Mommy, I love you. And sumilip yung asawa ko. Binibenta lang kita rito. Ayan. Okay, sorry. Wala si Kerry, wala magkakatnan. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so how do we do that? You know, sabi namin, we're praying, hopefully by soon, you know, we'll be able to buy a land where naka-live tayo anyway. Alam naman ng buong mundo yan. Anyway, we'll be able to buy a family house where people, alam mo yan, yung family namin will be able to go there at least twice a year, family reunion. So nandun yun yung great men, create good times, and weak men, and so on. Para they are reminded of our what we want to avoid. Okay. So how do we do that? Sabi namin, ito yung secret. Okay. This is what we came up with. The secret to multi-generational wealth is transfer the ability of building wealth. It's not easy. Okay. But if we can transfer the ability of building wealth, then we're all good. That's the key. Yung ability to building wealth transfer from generation to generation. That's the key in ensuring that the wealth, the multi-generational wealth, is continuous. You know, it's in the family. And you can bless other people with that. Okay, so we'll get practical. Practical na tayo. Some personal stories for you to better relate. But now let's get practical. How do we do this in the business context or in the organizational life context? This is how we do it. First, identify the key positions. Next, identify the person whom you're grooming to be your replacement in the event that you cannot function your role. Okay. Very quickly lang to. If you want in-depth, talk to me in a different conversation. Okay. Next is provide a platform. The 3 Ps. Position, person, platform. I'm gonna focus on this and then magkakaroon tayo ng visual konti after neto. But platform, do we provide an opportunity for them to practice what they're being developed with? We need to provide that. And I belong to Victory, and I always say this kasi Victory Christian Fellowship is a very empowering organization. You know, let me share, every Friday at 7 p.m. I belong to Victory Group. It's a men's group where we swap learnings in our walk, in our daily faith with the Lord. Si Darius, yung white-haired, he's our Victory Group leader, and he's also investor. And so mga businessmen ito, we talk about our faith, and he has given me the platform for me to lead later. So mamaya ang gabi, I will be facilitating the Victory Group circle namin, you know. And that's the idea, na kung ikaw yung nagde-develop ng replacement mo, you have to give them an opportunity. You have to give them a platform where they can exercise what they're learning. And that's not what we're doing simply in Victory. You know, we also apply this in CEOInsights. In fact, this week, yan, si Coach RD ang nag-facilitate ng circle meeting namin on Tuesday. Yeah, this is us. Yeah, so I'm not sure nandito si Jobs, no? Yan. So si Errol, he's the one who's facilitating our circle meetings. We give them the platform to really exercise what they're being developed with. And then next week, si Sir FM naman, FM Ramento, will be facilitating the circle meeting on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Now, if you're not yet part of a circle, I have no idea why, di ba? Just reach out, message the page. I'll connect with you, and then we'll invite you to become part of a CEO circle, because CEOs learn best with fellow CEOs. I'm learning a lot with this circle, and these are great CEOs. Why not learn from them? And it's free. So wala ka kailangang bayaran doon. Just your time. Anyway, so let's put the visual. I used MStarNet, ang ating kaibigang oso and co-host right now, si Chris Anunievo, to be the case study on how to do it. So imagine this is your company, write the position, the person, emergency backup, and platform. So the key positions, I still have time. So position, ano yung mga position na critical? So CEO, COO, punuin nyo na lang yan kung ano yung gusto nyong ilagay dyan. The next, sino yung person na currently nakaupo ron? Okay, so si Chris, and then identify the person as emergency backup. In the event na Chris is unable to perform, nagkasakit siya for example or nag-date ng isang linggo kasama yung boyfriend niya, wala ako So Chris will be the one taking over. Okay? Ganun din kay Oda, no? Kay Ma'am Oda. Naisip niya na, gusto ko nang bumalik sa Australia for 30 days. In the event na wala si emergency, nag-out of town pala, no? Mga gawain ni Sir BK yan eh. Ayan, kunyari may meeting yung pala, may date pala, may date. Okay lang. Okay, so imagine si Oda will decided to leave for 30 days. Si Crystal ang magte-take over. In the event lang naman na na walang biglang kailangang mag-take over or mawala si Oda or si Chris, there's an emergency backup. And obviously, you don't create or install your fire alarm when the house is already on fire. Habang wala pang sunog, maglagay na tayo ng fire alarm. And then the platform. What's the program for development for them? Dun sa role na papasukin nila, diba? If you're a CEO material or you're the replacement, I need to develop you how to become a CEO. So there's a picture, screenshot nyo na lang yan for the Facebook page na nanonood. Yan, screenshot nyo na rin din. Okay, so in closing, okay, this month is all about being missional, and the core value that we've discussed is thinking in generations. And today is a holiday. I can't not talk about that, although it's a controversial topic, but I just want to say na it is what it is, I'm not gonna deep dive on the controversy surrounding EDSA DOS right now because it's election season. But it's all about being missional, building impact for legacy, using an institution to do it. It's operating excellence, progressing experience, and thinking in generation. So today we celebrate People Power's 36th anniversary. And I believe that, it's worth remembering that their sacrifices, the people back then, 1986, the people back then, their sacrifices helped us, or is the main reason, at least their bravery, at the least, is the reason why we enjoy this kind of freedom that we have today. That's what we want. The things that we're doing right now has an impact in the generations to come. We have to think in generations. So that's something that we thank them for, and we want to continually grow that kasi yun ang in-entrust sa atin, diba? Yung the sacrifices for our freedom, and it's entrusted with us. So it's our job now as CEOs of this freedom to make sure that it continues and it grows and it evolves into something that is better than what it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Okay. So we want to install here this one. We want to install the mindset of a builder for all people who are joining the CEO Insights. And for you want to, you can be a businessman, and that's okay. Kudos to you. If you want to build a business to make money, that's okay. And I have plenty of network. We have plenty of network who can help you build more money. But it's not the main reason why we started CEO Insights. You can build a business that simply makes money, that makes you a businessman, or you can build a business for legacy beyond simply making money. And if you do that, you become a builder. And a builder, for legacy builders, only two things matter. One, success matters. Number two, continuity of success matters. So in closing, I will pull a quote from Beyond Entrepreneurship. At ang sabi niya rito, Jim Collins, sabi niya, the task before you is not to be a single charismatic individual with a vision. The task is to build an organization with a vision. Why? Because individuals die. Great companies can live for centuries. That's what we want for your business in mind, for your organization in mind. It's not just about building money, but the impact it does. And not only to make an impact in our lifetime, but in the lifetime after ours. We want that impact to continue long after our tenure. So yeah, that's it for me. As I close this, I want to hear a few insights lang. I still have 6 minutes. So what key insight made you think deeply? And what key action are you going to do this week to build your enterprise who's ready to play the infinite games?